with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News Nowcast.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Haley Potter. Thanks for joining us for tonight's edition of the Erie News Nowcast. October 1st is National Manufacturing Day. That's a day when industries promote manufacturing jobs to some high school kids. But at McDowell High School, they're already gotten that message. Take a look at McDowell Manufacturing, a high-tech company operating right inside McDowell High School. Students run the entire company from accounting to quality control, and they're producing real parts for real companies. Mill Creek Township School District had already invested in a manufacturing lab, but it was the Northwest Industrial Resource Center that had the idea to expand it as a working enterprise, and it's taken off with 51 students enrolled.
McDowell High School, the students there have responded. They're producing real parts for real companies in this area, and it is awesome. The excitement in the student body is growing.
They run all aspects of the business, from accounting to quoting to actually producing the parts. And I think that's what differentiates us, is the excitement in manufacturing that we bring to the table.
And McDowell Manufacturing is doing work for more than 30 local companies, and they've manufactured more than 7,000 parts. You can learn more about the initiative with Lisa Adams this weekend on The Insider. Although federal unemployment bonuses have ended, many employers are still having a hard time finding employees in order to operate business as normal. Some businesses have resorted to signing bonuses to lure people in to apply. Many employers tell Erie News Now the pandemic and systemic issues are to blame for the ongoing labor shortage. The CEO of the Erie Regional Chamber and Growth Partnership says many of the available jobs just aren't paying livable wages, and it's even tougher for those who have children.
Lack of ability to get trained and credentialed daycare providers. Again, these are also traditionally lower wage positions, and often filled by women, and that's where we're seeing gaps in. I can't get the training, I can't get the credential, and I can't get the wages that it makes sense for me to come back into the workforce. And so there's not a child care provider that we talk to that can't increase capacity.
And job fairs are happening around Erie, but many employers say not many people are actually showing up to those. Hospitals around the nation are being crushed right now by COVID-19 as health experts continue the plea to vaccinate it. But for those who are vaccinated, there are new questions now about the need for yet another dose. Reporter Britt Conway has the latest on the boosters.
Natalie Rise, a mother of two, a registered nurse in Idaho. She died last month from COVID-19. She wasn't vaccinated. Idaho is one of the 10 states with the lowest vaccination rates, less than 45% of residents. And over the past week, COVID-19 deaths in these states were more than 4 times higher than the 10 states with the highest vaccination rates, where more than 62% of residents are vaccinated. But just how long does vaccine protection last? That's what the FDA is still considering as they determine the need for boosters. Vaccine advisors voted Friday to recommend emergency use authorization of Pfizer's booster for people 65 and up and people at high risk of severe COVID-19. But the FDA hasn't made an official authorization yet. Moderna has submitted its booster data, and Johnson & Johnson is expected to do the same after announcing that adding a second dose of its vaccine provides 94% protection against symptomatic infection. But for now, nothing can move forward until the FDA does. But the CDC's vaccine advisors are pressing ahead with a 2-day meeting all the same, with Pfizer scheduled to present its booster data today.
We're living in a world right now what I call corrected science. You know, we learn, we apply it, then we learn again.
It's messy, it's ugly, but that's because there's scientific uncertainty. And when there's scientific uncertainty, we want to hear from all sides.
And President Joe Biden says the U.S. is doubling its purchase of Pfizer's COVID-19 shots to share with the world. At a virtual vaccine summit on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, Biden embraced a goal of vaccinating 70% of the global population within the next year. Biden encouraged well-off nations to do more to get the coronavirus under control around the world. World leaders, aid groups, and global health organizations are growing increasingly vocal about the slow pace of global vaccinations and the inequity of access to shots between the residents in the wealthier and the poorer nations. The U.S. purchase of another 500 million shots brings the total U.S. vaccination commitment to more than 1.1 billion doses. New tonight, a consumer watchdog group is putting pressure on the FCC to protect customers from those annoying, unwanted robocalls. 2 years ago, Congress passed legislation requiring phone companies to install sophisticated caller ID technology to reduce the number of illegal robocalls. While most of the companies were supposed to comply by June 30th, some smaller providers were given an extension until 2023. This month, the consumer group analyzed the FCC's database and found only 17% of nearly 3,100 phone companies said they completely implemented this new technology. Only 27% had partially implemented it, while 56% said they're going to use their own method to manage robocalls.
Unwanted robocalls terrorize all of us and victimize many of us. How much longer are we going to tolerate people's lives being destroyed when they answer an imposter call that looks like it's coming from their bank or even from the IRS?
And starting next Tuesday, phone companies must start blocking calls from providers who have not reported their progress to the FCC. We have an update on a story we first told you about on Monday night. A large goat, which has been wandering through the Franklin area in Venango County, has officially been captured. No one knows where the goat came from, but he's been popping up on people's lawns and front porches for the past 3 weeks now. He was finally captured late yesterday afternoon by Patrick Brown, who runs an animal rescue operation called Sugar Creek Sanctuary. Brown used 2 female goats to lure the elusive male goat onto a trailer. John Last will have more details on the goat's capture and the goat's future during the next segment of The Last Word this Friday on Erie News Now at 6. Thanks for joining us for the Erie News Nowcast. Join us for our next news at 10 p.m. on the CW and 11 p.m. on WICU and WSEE. Have a great night.